In the late 19th century, brutal land baron Seamus Laurent slaughters a Roma clan, unleashing a curse on his family and village. In the days that follow, the townspeople are plagued by nightmares. Seamus' son Edward goes missing, and a boy is found murdered. The locals suspect a wild animal, but visiting pathologist John McBride, played by Boyd Holbrook, warns of a more sinister presence lurking in the woods. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Burns Reviews. My name is John, and today we're talking about The Cursed, previously titled 8 for Silver. It had its premiere at the 2021 Sundance Film Festival, and now it's coming to theaters this Friday, the 18th. Let's get right into it. Going straight into the positives. This movie is extremely eerie, atmospheric, and gory. It is, It's really bloody, and surprisingly not in the scenes that you would imagine. You would think that it would be bloody in the kill scenes. No. The bloodiest scenes for me were like, there's an autopsy scene that might make you a little squeamish. There's a scene where a character has its hands and feet chopped off. There's a scene where shrapnel is being pulled out of a soldier's body. All of that extremely graphic. You know, I feel like some of the kills, they're quick, you know? Someone gets attacked, and, you know, we cut to, and we hear somebody reacting to a yell in the distance, or something like that, you know? And, you know, it's very jump-scary sometimes when it's not being atmospheric, and, yeah, believe it or not, the scariest parts of this movie, the bloodiest parts, are not in the scenes that you would think they would be, which I think kind of makes it a little bit original, a little bit fresh. It is a mystery. You are trying to figure out some of the plot points in this, but at the same time, I feel like it dabbles into too many different arenas. You know, Sean Ellis talks about, he's the writer-director, he talks about how he wanted to do something different than your typical cliched werewolf movie. He didn't want to have the creature be overly hairy, howling at the moon, so he tried something different. You know, he introduced the 30 pieces of silver that Judas received in order to give up, Jesus. And we find out later that, you know, minor spoiler, that's what we see in the poster with those teeth, the silver teeth. That was the silver that was melted down and cast over the teeth, and, you know, there was a gypsy curse. So you have different elements. You have witchcraft, a gypsy curse, a werewolf thing, even some biblical supernatural stuff going on here. And I love the originality to it. I love how the unknown of not knowing exactly what mythos we're delving into is kind of creepy. You know, because the less you know, the creepier it usually is, in my opinion. However, I did have this feeling when I left the movie that there was a lot that was unanswered. A lot of loose ends, if you will. The movie does conclude. There is some, you know, finality to it. But the more you think about it, the more you're kind of going, a lot of this doesn't make sense. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Some movies can be style over substance, and this movie definitely is. But I kind of want more, you know, in the sense that I cared about the movie enough where the acting and the cinematography and the direction was good to the point that I wanted more. I was like disappointed that it didn't go a little bit further because they were on the right track. So there's a lot of good in this movie. You know, you got Boyd Holbrook from Logan, who I thought was pretty solid. He has that movie star quality to him that I thought was, you know, really elevated the movie. He's kind of like your Ichabod Crane character in that Johnny Depp Sleepy Hollow movie. In fact, I got a lot of vibes from Sleepy Hollow, you know, because he plays a pathologist who comes to town, and he's the only one who can solve this whole thing. He's smarter. He's got his little medicine bag. He's doing autopsies. I mean, hell, the third act of the movie takes place in a church where all the characters are still standing. You know, they board up the walls and the windows, and there's a creature trying to get in, and the people inside are arguing with each other, and secrets are coming out, and I'm like, this is Sleepy Hollow. And I don't mind that, because I love Sleepy Hollow, but it does seem to borrow from that. I actually took some notes, because I feel like it borrowed from a lot of different movies, for better or worse. You know, there is a gypsy curse that is put on the main characters, or the village, that we find out. It kind of reminded me of Drag Me to Hell, or Thinner, if you will. And the creature, you know, kind of, we have some practical effects, not entirely, but some. kind of reminded me of The Thing. That autopsy scene is gnarly. However, you know, the body makes me think of the 1980 version of The Thing, but the tentacles and the I Am Groot, you know, going up the little boy's body made me think of the 2011 version of The Thing. So you kind of lose some, you win some, you lose some. Just try to keep in mind that this is a low-budget movie. It doesn't have the money that, say, like an A24 film would have, or a mainstream movie. And I forgive a lot of that because they're trying to do what they can with what they have. And maybe they should have done a more creative way, but I get the feeling that Sean Ellis really wanted to show certain things. You know, he in a press kit, he talks about how he took inspiration from The Thing and Aliens. And there's that scene where the kid's head is coming out of the sack and the body and the. So I get it. He wanted to do that. He didn't want to do some look at the shadow on the wall or look at the intense close-up. I get why he went for the wider shots, but it doesn't quite always work. The first half of the movie, great. You know, when the creature is kind of rummaging through the grass, yeah. And there's a woman who's hanging laundry and she's all alone, yeah. Creepy as hell. But, you know, when they go a little bit too much with the CGI and how convoluted it can sometimes be, and the dinner scenes that go too long, and the 1 hour, 52-minute runtime, that's where it falls apart. You also got Kelly Riley in here. I've seen her in a couple things. She's really like the emotional heart of the movie, kind of makes it a little bit more heartfelt, and you kind of care about it a little bit more if you didn't have her or her character involved, because a lot of these characters unfortunately are very one-note, one-dimensional, kind of wooden, and that's fine. They don't have to be anything more than that, but it would have been nicer if you gave them a little bit more character, so that when something did happen or didn't happen, you cared. You know, there's more stakes that way. So, in conclusion, guys, I'm going to give The Cursed a 6.6 out of 10. I think if you're a hardcore fan of the horror genre, it's definitely probably worth seeing one time in theaters. But if you're not, if you're more of a casual horror person, then maybe wait for VOD, streaming, what have you. I think it's got some good stuff in there. Got some good nuggets. It's just overall not the greatest film I've ever seen. And once you leave and start thinking about it too much, you're going to start scratching your head going, I have a lot of questions that this movie does not answer at all. But if you just want the atmosphere, if you just want the creepiness of it all, and you just want the journey, I think you'll be pretty satisfied with it. So, what do you think of The Curse? Are you going to go check it out this weekend? Have you seen it already? Be sure to comment down below. I'd love to know what is your favorite werewolf movie, because this one, it might be the best one of 2022 so far. I mean, time will tell. We're very early in the year. I think it might be the best horror movie of the year so far. We'll see. Be sure to comment down below. My name is John here on Burns Reviews. Be sure to subscribe and ring that bell if you like early movie reviews just like this one. The Curse comes out this Friday. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.